Hi, let's talk today about React hooks, JS private class fields, and client meetings. I'm Anatoly, and you are watching the good parts of the front-end development. If this is your first time here and you wanna learn front-end and JavaScript, start right now by subscribing and don't forget to turn on the subtitles. Did you think, why do React elements have a $$ typeof property? In this post, then Abramov writes about JSON injection prevention mechanisms for XSS and typical vulnerabilities. Compound components in React using the Context API by Kingsley Silas is about the implementation of compound components in a real-life React application. Such components have a connected state that can be managed among them. One more article regarding this topic is Async React using React Router and Suspense by Kevin Ghadyani. Here you can read how to make asynchronous loading of React components using Suspense and React.lazy in your app. In the article, Introduction to Abortable Async Functions to React with Hooks by Daishi Kato is about using React hooks to cancel JavaScript promises without resort to the entire framework. You can read this article at itnext.io. Mathias Bynens in his turn posted an article namely Public and Private Class Fields. Here, the author described how will look like an expected syntax for JavaScript's existing class with new features, such as public class fields and private class fields. A two-part video series where Wesboss learns to fly a drone with JavaScript, using React and Node.js to communicate with the drone via a UDP socket. Luis Lazaris posted an article titled A Guide to the CSS Object Model. Daily we're working with the document object model, but there's also the CSS object model, a set of APIs allowing the manipulation of CSS from JavaScript. Here you can find a lot of details as well as examples of that. The idea of writing CSS in JavaScript to style things at the component level has become more popular. Even if you're familiar with that, in the tutorial Bridging the Gap Between CSS and JavaScript, CSS and JS, you can explore more the CSS in JS landscape. This is the two-part series, so draw your attention to a part 2. Feature policy can help protect your site from third parties using APIs that have security and privacy implications. In the guide Protecting Your Site with Feature Policy by Rachel Andrew, you can learn how to use feature policy, when to use them, and how to test that. Steve Saunders in his turn wrote a curious post, JavaScript Growth and Third Parties. Here the author considers the significant growth of third-party JavaScript during the last 10 years and reminds us, performance budgeting and monitoring is a must. The next point in my list is 19 ways to become a better Node developer in 2019. Yoni Goldberg highlights tips, skills, and strategies that make proof valuable over the coming months. Most of the points are applicable to all JavaScript. Have a look. One more point considering Node.js is the article Node.js API and Web Frameworks for 2019. This is a roundup that doesn't just focus on the usual favorites like Express, Core, and Happy, but digs into alternatives like Nest, Adonis, and Fastify too. Drawing lines in HTML without canvas is a neat way to understand a common graphics algorithms. Here you can learn how to draw a line using JavaScript and the Bresenham line algorithm. Chris Coyer in his turn made a collection titled DevTools for Designers. It contains links to a variety of posts and videos about web developer tools aimed more at designers. The last but not least point for today is an article, namely, How to Get the Most Out of Your Client Meetings. It's about the preparation and conducting a meeting as well as working on the client's feedback. In short, it's all about having a two-way conversation. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel and watch other episodes. Thanks for watching and stay curious.